the story. Now, you couldn't see it from the road, but you'd know it's there. There's music coming out from inside the house, dancing. The whole town's been invited, and the smell of a feast, a real feast, the kind this family hasn't seen in years. It's drifting out through every window of the home. The father, he's killed the fattened calf. He set the table. His son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now he's found. And you just saw that reunion retold on stage. Two of them, a father and a son, 2 centuries apart. Both held together by that stubborn, running, and weeping love. The table's set and the family meal is ready. And into all of that, into the music and the dancing and the smell of the feast, the father leans out the door and calls, "Come home." Come home. That is the heartbeat of this parable. And it's the heartbeat of the God who told it. A father calling his children back to the place they belong, back to him, back to each other, back to the family meal that is never supposed to end. But before the story's over, we're going to find out that coming home is a lot harder than it often is. And the cost of keeping the light on was higher than any of us know. Here again, what the father does when he sees his son coming down the road, the text says, "But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him." Now, a Jewish patriarch in the first century, this man would not run. He lives my life motto: if you ever see me running, you guys probably should too. For running, it's for children, the soldiers, the desperate, a man of standing. Well, he would gather his robes and he walked with dignity. Something else happened here that we almost miss. In Jesus' day, when a son disgraced his family in the way that the younger brother did to his father, squandering his inheritance, even asking for it, the village would have had a ritual waiting for his return. It's called the kazaza. Fun word, I don't know. But basically it's this: he would fill up this clay pot filled with nuts and corn, and the townspeople would break it in front of the son, declaring him cut off from the community. But another way, you could not just walk back in. You had to face the crowd first, and the crowd's verdict was final. Father knew this. He knew what was waiting for his son as soon as he entered into the village. So he ran, not only out of joy, but as a deliberate, costly act of intervening. He got there first. And he threw his arms around his son in full view of the neighbors before the village, and he did it all before they could deliver this harmful verdict. And he didn't cancel, but he absorbed that shame publicly, making himself the spectacle so that his son wouldn't have to face that crowd alone. His love, it didn't stop there. Best robe, signet ring, sandals, killing the fattened calf again. Invite the whole town. The son, he starts rehearsing, giving his rehearsed apology. The father talks right over him. He doesn't care. He's just happy that he's there. The verdict's already in, and it has nothing to do with what that son deserves. Family meal set. Come home. Someone's refusing to come to the table. So that father, he goes out a second time. The text says, "So the father went out and pleaded with his older son." The elder son, he's outside, refusing to come into the feast. The father, he doesn't send a servant away from the feast. He leaves the feast that he had prepared, the feast already underway, music already playing, and walks out into the night to plead with the son who never left. He'll absorb this shame too. There's shame in leaving your own party. He'll make himself the fool again, and that's what it takes. The table stays set because he kept going out. To the son who wasted everything, to the son who resents everything. his whole posture, the whole motion of this father's life is this story are two words to both sons. It is to come home. His heart is recklessly, extravagantly giving at personal cost. For shadows of a cross. Hold that, because what comes next will make it sting a little bit. The older son had been in the field all day. He comes home, he hears music, asks the servant, "What's going on?" His brother's back, and his father threw a party, and this son would not come home. Hear what the text says. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you killed a fatted calf for him." Notice what he calls his brother. This son of yours, this elder brother's already canceling this son out of the family. Not my brother. He has rewritten it. Also notice what he calls his years of faithfulness. Not love, but slavery. Not the word of a son who loves his father. It's the word of an employee who doesn't think his boss is being fair to him. The problem isn't just jealousy. It's a theology, because obedience in exchange for reward, it's the wrong way to live. Stay, work, perform, and your father owes you everything. The younger son, who has no currency left to trade, just got handed everything for free. And so the older brother stands outside the family home and he calls it justice. There's someone in your life you won't go home to. Not because you can't find the time, but because something in you, something that might feel righteous, something with really good reasons behind it, won't let you. Maybe it's a sibling you haven't spoken to in years. And if someone told you they'd finally gotten their life together, wanted to reconcile, wanted to come back to the family table, something in your heart might just grow cold. Not because you're a bad person, because we're elder brothers. And all elder brothers always have a good reason for staying outside the family feast. And maybe it's not a specific person. Maybe it's something quieter and more pervasive. Maybe it's just a low-grade conviction that your faithfulness should count for something. That God ought to be keeping track of all this, showing up on a midweek Wednesday, thank you. No. But the people who showed up every week, gave, served, held their lives all together, that they should get the fattened calf, not the one who blew it all and stumbled back home. That grace is a fine idea in theory, but when it gets handed to that person over there, something grows cold and says, that's just not right. That coldness is not a personality flaw, it's a theological one. It means we've been treating our Father as a vending machine for the righteous rather than a Father whose heart is come home. Everyone, whatever it costs you to get here. And the elder brother in the story, he just can't do it. He stands outside while the music plays and the family eats. He doesn't lose his seat because the father takes it. He loses it because he just chooses to walk away from it himself. Interestingly, Jesus leaves this parable completely open-ended. The father's pleading, the son is silent, the table is set, the door is open, and the elder brother just won't come home. We need someone who could do what neither son could. We need Jesus. The younger son left home and had to find his way back. The elder brother stood at the door of the home and refused to walk through it. But Jesus, our true elder brother, left a greater home than either of them ever knew, and followed his father's heart all the way to the bitter end. Now, in a first century Jewish culture, when a younger son disgraced himself, it was the older brother's job, it was his responsibility to mediate, stand in the gap, to say to the father, he's still my brother, I'm going to go bring him home. The elder brother in our parable wouldn't do it. He chose to stand outside. Well, Jesus doesn't stand outside. No, he comes all the way in, goes all the way out to bring you and I home. Take another look at what the father gave the younger son. He gave him the best robe, the signet ring, the sandals, the seat of honor at the family table. Well, what did Jesus take on? What did he give up to give us? He laid down the robe, he laid down the signet ring and took up a crown of thorns. We took the seat of honor. He took our seat on the judgment of the cross. The robe, he was stripped bare in his passion. He absorbed all of our shame before the crowd could deliver its final verdict. He made himself a spectacle, publicly, humiliatingly, finally, so that we would not have to face what we deserved alone. What the Father's running foreshadowed. The prodigal love that sprinted down a road and threw its arms around a filthy son. That same love went all the way to Calvary, following the Father's heart at total cost to bring you and me home. Then 3 days later, that tomb was also empty. That meal that seemed finished, it's back on. The family that tried to scatter is gathered together again. The Father's table is set for good now, permanently, irrevocably, because Jesus walked out of the grave and his verdict is final. This son of mine, you and I, who were dead, are now alive again. We were lost and now we're found. Every single one of us, every sinful member of God's family, death has done its worst and the table is still set. The true elder brother, the one who paid everything, who left home to bring us home, is standing at the head of the feast table, calling across whatever distance remains between you and him, and he's just saying, come home. The table's set, but we're not quite at Easter yet. We're still in these 40 days, still in the wilderness, still walking toward the hill of Calvary, and there's more road ahead, more time to be spent. The fasting, the repenting, the sitting with what Christ is walking toward on our behalf. All of that is the road home. And the one waiting at the end of that road has already done the only thing that needed doing. The tomb's empty. The table's set. It is being prepared right now for a feast that will make every feast before it look like an appetizer. So wherever you are in this story, hear him calling across whatever distance remains between you and him. Maybe some of you today identify with the younger son. You know what you've wasted? You've been rehearsing the apology the whole drive here, half expecting to be turned away. Hear the Father running to you. The robe's already in his hands. He's yelling, come home. Some of us are like the elder brother. We've been faithful. We show up. And there's someone maybe in this room, maybe in your family, maybe just in the cold place in your chest that we can't bring ourselves to sit next to. The wounds are real. The reasons are real, but the Father has gone out in the night for you too. Your seat is still there. Before you go to sleep tonight, if there is someone, I encourage you, just say their name. You don't have to fix anything yet. Just say it to God, say a prayer to him, and let him start to do his work, the work of bringing you home. And all of us come because of Jesus, the one who left home to bring us home, who went all the way out so we can come all the way back. table set. You're almost home. Please stand for prayer.